Hi everybody, and welcome to Pepper Your Talk and Young Barbican's International Women's Day event. Today I have three incredible ladies who I have hand-selected. These are women that I personally follow online, have followed their journeys and their careers, and have personally selected each of them to be here with us today to speak to us about their careers, working in the creative industries, and just what it's like to be them. Some real talk, a real account of their lives, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty and then also the solutions they have for young people who want to follow in their footsteps. So if you don't know much about Young Barbican, who we are so happy to partner with, what I would say is if you are 14 to 25 years old and you are interested in film, theatre, music, visual arts, then definitely sign up to Young Barbican to receive free tickets and discounted tickets for exclusive artist opportunities and much, much more. So, ladies, it's over to you. I could introduce you because I know so much about each of you, but I'd rather you introduce yourself. So, Fisayo, if we kick off with you, tell us your full name and what it is that you do.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me today. My name is Fisayo Longe, and I am the owner and creative director of a women's wear clothing brand called Kai Collective, which I started in 2016. Before that, I was and still am a content creator. What people call influencer these days, but I don't like that word. Yeah, that's all.
Nice, thank you. We're going to get into why you don't like the influencer word, but for now, we'll stick to the intro. Nicole, do you want to go next? Tell us a bit about you.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Krentzel, and I am the CEO of a platform called Black Girl Festival. I'm also an angel investor with Ada Ventures, and specifically really interested in making investments in Black women-founded businesses. And on top of that, I sit as an advisory member on the board for the Tate, and I also work as a creative consultant within the industry too.
So many hats, busy woman. Thank you. Twiggy, do you want to go next and tell us a bit about you, what it is that you do?
Hi everyone, my name is Twiggy Jalloh. My day job, I am a journalist, beauty and lifestyle journalist at British Vogue magazine. I'm also, I guess a content creator. Well, I put things on Instagram that I like anyway. And I also have a podcast called Take 10 with Twiggy. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Yeah.
Nice, thank you, ladies. Okay, so I'm going to kick off with a fire round. I feel like it's always nice to kind of warm people up so they kind of get to know you a little bit before we get into the meat of the questions. So the quick fire round, you literally have to answer it without thinking, okay? So the first question is, would you rather not have your phone for a week or not have your laptop for a week?
Not have my phone.
Not have your phone.
Not have my phone.
At the same time?
Yeah, okay, for science.
I'd rather not have my phone.
I'd rather not have my phone, yep.
No phone.
Same. I'm exactly the same. I feel very strange without my laptop. Very strange without my laptop with me. Okay, interesting to know. Are you a music person or a podcast person?
Music.
Podcast.
Okay, we've got podcast from Twiggy. Nicole, you and music?
Music, yeah.
I'm music. I love podcasts, but if I had to choose, life is already so work.
Actually, I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Music. Because it's hard to listen to podcasts when you're actually working, but I can still listen to music. So music.
Okay, so we're all aligned, basically. Let's see if we can keep this up. Are you more sensitive to sound or smell?
Sound.
Smell. Oh. I would have been smell if I don't have a sense of smell now. I haven't for like 4 months.
No.
I'll go for sound.
Wow, I'm sensitive to sound. Nicole, what is it about smell that irritates you? Like, what is it?
No, it's just because I have a cat allergy. So like certain furs make me sneeze. So yeah, it's because of my allergies. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And the last one, actually, we've got 2 more. Would you rather respond to 50 emails back to back, or would you rather meet 10 new people back to back?
50 emails.
10 new people.
10 new people.
10 new people.
I miss people.
Wait, so would you say you're an introvert?
I am.
Yeah.
Meeting 10 new people back to back, I'll sleep for 2 days.
That's hilarious. Okay, last question. When you're stressed, do you eat your problems away or sleep your problems away? Eat.
Sleep. I love rest. You know, if I'm upset, I'm like, okay, nap time.
Yeah, same. What did you say? Because I think I missed it.
I said eat.
Eat. I think I sleep. I do both, actually. I do both. Okay, that was a nice little warm up. I feel like we're ready to kind of get into the questions now. So we're going to start off by speaking about stress, which is a heavy topic. But first, I want to say to our audience that stress actually is a natural part of life. And from the beginning of time, the indication of stress in your life actually is healthy because it helps you navigate a situation where you kind of, your cortisol starts kicking off in your body and you have this like natural fight or flight. Stress actually helps you determine how you're going to respond to danger. So if you are feeling stressed, it's not a bad thing. You don't have a bad life. It's completely normal. But what we want to maybe take it back a bit with you guys and ask you, when you were younger, in your teens, what did you find yourself stressing about a lot more than you stress about now? Like, what have you completely stopped stressing about that you stressed about so much as a teen?
I can go. I think it's probably just the case of the education system, but I was so stressed about GCSEs and like A levels, and my teachers used to always say like, these are the most important exams of your life, and then we get to A level and be like, these are the most important exams of your life, and then I would just be like, when does it stop? I remember I specifically chose a career, like an industry, product design. I went to study at university where I just didn't take any exams. It was all coursework, and I loved it. And I think that's where I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing any more exams. I don't like exam life. I'm not good at it. I'm really good at doing coursework. And so going into a career, it meant that I haven't sat an exam since A level, and I love that. I don't think I've sat an exam. Some people were like, oh yeah, I went to university, I got an exam at uni. I'm like, what's that? Like,
oh my gosh, that was me. Oh gosh. Oh.
I'm like, I did BTech in college and I did fashion promotion at uni. So I haven't had a like educational exam, apart from my driving test and other little things, since I was like 16. Not even 16. I don't even know what age executive is these days. I've forgotten. That's how long ago it feels. But what I would say is I love like what you said kind of highlights that everything in your life has an expiry date. And even though that was like you stress, you reach a certain age where you have the choice to decide whether you want to continue having exams or not. And actually the older you get, the more autonomy you have. And what you're dealing with currently is not going to last forever. And you will grow up and have more options. So that's great. Do you guys have anything you want to pinpoint about like what used to stress you but doesn't stress you now?
I used to stress a lot about what I was going to be and whether I was going to be successful. I used to think like it just used to keep me up at night. Like, I really want to be successful. How am I going to be successful? What am I going to be? And I don't stress about that anymore. I just work on being successful rather than stressing about it.
I think it's similar.
Go ahead. No, please.
Oh no, I think it's similar to you as well. I used to stress so much about the future. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? Like after university, like, oh, I've just finished my, my undergrad. Like, am I going to be able to get a job straight away? Am I going to do this and I'm going to do that? And now in hindsight, I think to myself that I should not have been stressing so much, just because even when I did make mistakes, everything worked in my favor, if you know what I mean. Even all of the things that I thought like, why is this happening? Why did I not get this opportunity? I now know that it's because something else was coming after that, So yeah, definitely like stressing about the future and just worrying about it.
Yeah, that reminds me when I graduated. And I think I got my job. So I worked for Burberry and I got my job a month after I graduated. But that month felt like the longest month of my life. I felt like I had borderline depression. And it was a huge exaggeration. Like I shouldn't have felt that way. And I put way too much pressure on myself. But when you're young, you feel like everything depends on you and that moment. And when you look back, it's like, I really shouldn't have wasted so much energy. Like everything actually does work out. I think what would be a nice question, which wasn't on my list, but it's a question about your life. How did you all get into the things that you do now? Paint the picture for us and kind of tell us the journey from education to being career women. Anyone can
Shall I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I went to university. I studied law partially because I wanted to get out of uni super quick. So I tried to do an accelerated course, but actually ended up staying in uni for much longer. So I did my law degree, came out of university. I was so lost, like similar to what I just said. Like I was very, very lost, didn't know what to do. I didn't really want to go into law. I knew that I loved media and journalism and everything, but I just didn't really know what to do. And I went back into retail, was working at Lush, selling bath bombs, and like playing with kids and just doing all that type of stuff. It was super fun, but I was there for 2 whole years after finishing uni, and you know, I saw a lot of my friends move on to like their graduate, like just doing masters and achieving all of these things. And yeah, I just felt really, really awful about myself, but I persevered. I got internships. Like I said, I had no idea what I wanted to do, so I really did experiment. I did internships and such and such and such, and then now I ended up at, of course, Vogue after all of that work. So yeah, my journey has been quite choppy, but like I said, everything worked. Everything happened for a reason, and everything landed me in the place I am today.
What internships did you do?
I interned at Refinery 29. And it was amazing. I was mainly on the entire editorial team, so I wasn't in a particular section, but I loved beauty and I loved the commercial side of things, like selling ads and all that type of stuff. So I had an idea from there of what I wanted to do. I actually got that internship. It wasn't actually advertised. I emailed them hoping that they had something going on, and they did. So always email if you can. And I also interned at Vogue International. So it's quite different to British Vogue. It's, how can I say, Vogue International cover all of the markets. They cover like Vogue India, Vogue Paris and everything. And I was basically working on content creation and data and social media for them. But yeah, before that I did loads of like short courses, 1-day courses at the BBC, anything that went on, I was there. I did all of the short courses in the world just to, you know, dip my toe in. But yeah, I was lucky to get in places, in some really, really good places.
That's amazing. I am a firm believer that your 20s is about completely exploring every single passion that you can identify and seeing what sticks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think there's a lot of like this kind of messaging on social media about find your one thing and do that. Or if you don't know what you want to do, you're lost. I'm just like, I wish I went to Scotland and like lived in Scotland for like genuinely like something completely random that would develop my character and have me outside of my comfort zone. I think the 20s is all about exploration. So if there's anyone listening to this that feels that they do not know what they're doing, that is actually a great place to start. Write down everything you care about and start ticking them off your list one by one. Something is going to stick. Because they're not in your heart for no reason. There actually is a reason, and there's an invisible string that ties your life together. So
explore and experiment.
Yes, absolutely. Fisayo, how did you get into content creation and then starting Kai?
My story is so long, so I'm gonna try and summarize. But I left secondary school. When I left secondary school, I thought I was going to go to university for law, but then with my A-levels, I was 1 grade off, and so I didn't get into the university I wanted to go to, and I didn't have an insurance because I didn't want to go to my insurance, and I'm like an all or nothing person, so I just didn't have an insurance. So I took a gap year. I went to work at KPMG as an auditor just for 3 months during my gap year, and then I traveled, but then they offered me a full-time position. So I've been an auditor. I worked as an auditor at KPMG for like 3 years. And then I went back to uni to Durham because I left KPMG. I didn't like audits. I went to Durham studying accounting and finance. I had started that degree while I was at KPMG. Got kicked out of Durham.
Oh, God.
But all this time, actually, when I started my fashion blog during my gap year, actually. So that was how I started, just for fun. Wasn't expecting it to become a job. I just wanted to document my travels and my clothes. And so when I got kicked out of Durham, I knew like during my last year at Durham, before I got kicked out, that I wanted to start a women's wear clothing brand, because I would travel and people would ask me what I was wearing, and I was just wearing stuff that I had made myself with.
Quick question. What year was that?
What year is it now? 2021. I left KPMG in 2014. So I would have gone back to Durham in 2015. I would have got kicked out 2015, 2016. And then I started Kai in 2016. I worked at Liberty as a merchandising assistant for a bit, and then I left and just did Kai full time, which is my women's wear clothing brand, as I said. And then I went back to UCL. So now I'm in my final year of UCL studying anthropology. It's just all crazy, but I think that's why I said I wouldn't stress so much about being successful, because everything has just led me to the next level. Every opportunity I find myself in has just led to the next one. Being kicked out of uni ended up being the best thing to ever happen, because I love being in UCL, and it meant that I could be in London and grow my clothing brand. So yeah, that's it. It's very long.
I mean, that was it in a nutshell, and I think that was the perfect summary, because we actually get to see the full picture of, okay, this happened, but then that happened, and this happened, but then that happened. And then we see you here, successful, flourishing, wearing your own brand, which is fantastic. I love your story, Fisayo, because it just shows that one thing does definitely lead to the next and lead to the next. And even in the face of something as tragic as of being kicked out of uni, you found your next step, and then you found your next step, and you're still going, and now you're wearing your amazing brand, which has blown up. I love seeing everyone wearing all the covers, all the press coverage. Such a beautiful thing to see.
I have traveled across London to come to your pop-up store.
Oh my God!
You had your pop-up store in Brompton.
In February.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going. It wasn't this year. It was last year.
It was February 2020, just before our lives got
like shaken. But yeah, I told my girlfriend, I was like, hold on, Fisayo's in London. Let's go. We traveled from East. We went all the way to Brompton. We went there, and we got myself like a nice, like one-shouldered silk dress. It was so cute. Yeah.
Oh,
lovely. Okay, ladies, let's move on and speak a bit about anxiety, because I definitely feel like that's a word that is thrown around a lot, and not many people understand whether they are actually having a full-on episode of anxiety, whether it's just a little bit, or how to kind of move forward from it. I remember a time when I was 21 in university, writing my final year dissertation, and I could not finish the work. I like, it was the worst feeling ever. I was paralyzed with anxiety. I couldn't write one single word, and I literally just closed my laptop and I slept like a baby, knowing that I still had 2,000 words more to write, and the deadline was the next day. And it was kind of psychopathic. Like the next day I walked into uni and I was just like, I haven't done it.
Just acceptance.
Literally, I went to my course tutor and I was just like, I haven't done it. So if I need to repeat the year, I repeat the year. If I fail, I fail. But I haven't done it. And I felt so calm. But the day before, I was frantic. It was crazy. Luckily, I had like a good reputation, and they spoke to like the board, and they got me like a 3-day extension. And my sister like talked so much sense into me, and I just got it done. But even speaking about it now, I remember the feeling, and I remember how paralyzing it was. I was really lucky that a doctor actually diagnosed me with situational anxiety, which helped a lot actually, because then I had like a medical reason to actually get the extension. But can you guys recall a time where you have literally been frozen by anxiety and how you've gotten over it?
Whew. I remember in university, I had was it commercial law, or I think it was commercial law, or I don't know, let's just say family law or something. Yeah. So we had to present a case to the lecturer, and I felt so underprepared. I think I had some relationship issues. I was worrying about a relationship then. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I had some like issues, and I just felt so emotional, and I just felt so tired and drained and underprepared. And I remember saying to all of my friends in the library, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail!" And it was quite a large part of the module, and I think it was in final year as well. So I wanted to do my very best. And the day came, I was panicking like crazy. But then before I went in, I just took a deep breath and said, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm just going to do my best. Went in there, and I ended up getting what did I get? Like a 68. I think it's almost like a first class. And when I got my grade, I thought to myself, hold on a second. I got that when I was still stressed during the exam. I was still very stressed. I tried to calm myself down as much as I possibly could, but I was still very stressed during the exam, and I was still able to achieve that. So I don't know, I was just really, really proud of myself in that moment. And I think even now I still think back to that moment, and I think to myself, Twiggy, if you can perform like that under pressure, if you can perform like that under pressure, you can do anything. So I feel like it's given me you know, a little bit of confidence over
That's
the years.
great.
You know,
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny you end on that word confidence, because there's a phrase that I love, and it says confidence comes from past performance. And actually, our confidence is built from when we put ourselves in situations that we overcome, regardless of what the outcome even is. The fact that you performed, you still did what you had to do in that moment, whether you were successful or you failed, your confidence is built up from that. And the fact that you managed to get a good grade, even in the midst of all that panic, that's amazing.
I'm still a little bit confused by that as well. But when I think back, I do feel like that it was so, like, everything was so exaggerated and worse than it actually was. And I think I really, really worked myself up. But when it actually came to it, I think all of the listening that I did, actually, I didn't, let me say all the listening I did in my lessons, but all of the reading and everything, I think it was stored somewhere in my brain. So maybe all of that information came out at the right time. But yeah, I just did it anyway.
How about you, girls? Any particular situations that stand out to you?
Mine is very recent. Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, I was just going to talk about the time when I made the decision to go freelance and how scary it was in that decision. I was very much just like, oh my gosh, like, is this a good idea? What am I doing quitting my job? My parents don't really understand what I do. Am I going to be like secure enough to do this full time? And you know, I remember specifically speaking to my then CEO, and I was kind of saying to her, you know, I'm thinking about going freelance, and I thought she would have like, she would say no, but she was like, yeah, sure, I think this is great for you. And I was just like, oh, okay, so I've actually got to go do it then. Cool. And that was probably where I had my first like panic moment. Actually, it was at Warring Street Station after I left my meeting with my CEO. And I think it really hit me because I was just like, oh my gosh, I now have the green light to go and do this thing and to go build this business. And the way that I handled it was actually top trick. I listened to drill in the tube station. So I was having a panic moment, and there was something about the beat and the repetition of like drill music. So I was listening to it, and then someone in the station actually was like helping me. And then I came out, and then I just basically journaled like the whole experience. I really wanted to like be honest and open about what happened. I also thought it was really helpful for me to actually start seeking like to a therapist and actually start speaking to a professional, because I have these anxious moments quite often, and I really wanted to unearth what the issue was, but also how to combat it by myself. So that was something that I thought, you know what, I've had this moment, but let me try and focus on ways that I can kind of turn this around, so that if it does happen again, I know how to handle it. So for anyone that's ever had that moment where they're just like, oh my gosh, frozen by anxiety, there are so many ways that you can kind of seek help, either through a professional, either journaling, either speaking about it, or my top tip is like listening to music that takes you out of your head. And that was real, that one moment.
Thank you for sharing that. That's so honest and so real. And I love that you had the thought of, okay, I'm going to seek a professional, but I want this professional to help me create personal coping mechanisms that I can help myself in my own time whenever I need to, which is so important, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fisayo, you said your situation is recent. Tell us.
Yeah, so I've like running a business ever since I started Kai. I have suffered from severe stress and anxiety. So just before this call, I was speaking to my team. I have burning tongue syndrome as a symptom of anxiety. Like my tongue burns, but there's nothing on my tongue. Like there's nothing there. It's just anxiety. And it's something that I've dealt with, and it goes like up and down depending on what is happening. So because of Brexit, we've had our shipments stuck and not been able to get in the country, and there's just been a lot going on. And there's days like yesterday where I struggled to do anything. I was just like paralyzed by fear and anxiety, because when you're so close to your business and when your business is so small, you just really, really want things to go well. And when they don't, it just consumes you. And that's stuff that I honestly still deal with. I take like some natural like medicines, like there's something called 5-HTP, which I was a Does it work for you?
I've got it. Do you know, I haven't been taking it for long enough, but I need to give it a little bit more time. But I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it helps me sleep. Obviously, we're not diagnosing anyone or like recommending it. Yeah. But yeah, it helps me a bit. But I think what you said about confidence coming from past performance, even when things like that happen, I know it's going to be okay. I know it's not the first time that a shipment has been late. I know it's not the first time that we've had to send emails to customers saying like, sorry, it's not going to make it, and try and like make amends. Like, I know it'll be fine, but at the same time, it's still so scary when you build something and you might lose all this money that you might not even have. Now I have a small team, which makes it a little bit easier, but it's still really bad. So I just work through it somehow.
Yeah, and well done to you, because on the outside, everything looks perfect. And your brand is growing so steadily. We constantly see girls wearing your dresses, and you look beautiful in your own designs. And you just see the press coverage. And on the outside, it all seems like it's just flowing. But on the back end, I can imagine it is stressful. But well done for handling it with grace. Very graceful. So, yeah, we're proud of you.
Thank
We are
you.
proud of you.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second.
Just a sec. Sorry.
I hope mine doesn't
I could
ring.
see Nicole's.
I get so many deliveries a day. Oh my gosh. I've had 3 this morning already.
Is it a lot of beauty stuff?
Yeah, it's mainly beauty stuff, and it's really nice because it's Valentine's Day. So like, I've been sent like flowers as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, people care about me. But yeah, it's mainly like beauty products and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay, we all good?
Yeah, Kwame's going to get it for me.
Okay, wicked. So I'm going to piggyback off what you said, Nicole, about therapy. And then the next question I'm going to ask you is about what has been the biggest support for your mental health as an adult. Okay. So piggybacking off what you said, Nicole, about seeking therapy, I want to ask each of you what has been your biggest support for your mental health as an adult. Twiggy, you spoke about university, and then Nicole, you spoke about early doors in your career going freelance, and then Fisayo, you spoke about current times. So I feel like we've been on a little journey, a little anxiety journey, but I want us to speak about right now as an adult, what are you doing to protect your mental health and stay balanced throughout everything that happens in life?
I can definitely.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, one thing that I found has just been like so rewarding are like friends who are like family, and I think just even the time that we're in, like plugging into relationships and nurturing relationships that you really care about during this time, however it may be virtually, has just been so rewarding. I've lent on my friends in ways that I probably shouldn't have, but they've also lent on me, and I feel like I've really strengthened a lot of relationships, but more so I've been able to really grow and learn with them. Like I've found more appreciation for the people who I can't physically be with, and that has just carried me through over the last few months. So I really want to just kind of celebrate more and more people who celebrate me. And also I've seen how rewarding it can be when we all kind of look after each other, when we're all like when we're all in the same boat. So that's why I think, friends who are family have been something that I've just been really cherishing and celebrating.
Nice, thank you. I did an Instagram live with I'm gonna do a little plug, Beyonce's publicist.
Ooh.
She little humble brag, she spoke about at the beginning of lockdown, she wrote a list of about, I think it was like 100 people who she knows need her and who she needs and who she's gonna consciously connect with throughout this time. So she says every week she makes time to either FaceTime or call and have a purposeful, really kind of plugged in moment with someone. I feel like this pandemic, yes, it's a crazy time, but crazy can be good in the fact that it can create new routines and you can decide how you want to spend your time now, because we have, I wouldn't say we have more time, but we're more stationary, so we can cover our day in new ways. Yeah, the fact that you're connecting with your people and you're calling your friends family, like that is just so poetic.
Yeah.
It is such a, finding that in life is such a gift. Fisayo, I saw you nodding when Nicole said that, and I see that you have like a really strong tribe of friends as well. Have they been the ones that getting you through?
Absolutely. I don't think I'd be alive without my friends. Even with starting my business, like there's so many times my friends have saved me. Like people always say, don't borrow money from friends. But there's so many times when I've had to borrow money from my friends because my brand could not carry on without it. Like we got this customs bill that we weren't expecting or something in the past. And my friends have always come through and never treated me different because they helped me, never made me feel like any lesser than them. So for sure, because as you said, everything looks so good on the outside and everyone thinks you're doing so well. You just need those people who like know the real.
Yeah.
And cry to. I'm a crier. I love crying. Crying is my favorite. And just having people that I can cry to, it has just been so valuable. So yeah, for my mental health as an adult, therapy is great, and I will always recommend that. But a good group of friends who are real and honest and not in a mean or jealous way, just like pure friendships, have saved my life.
Oh yeah.
Twiggy, you agree?
I would agree to that as well, just because I have a very, very close unit of friends and all of them are from secondary school. I do have a lot of acquaintances, but real friends that I can call at like 5 in the morning, I have about maybe 3, 4, and I really do appreciate them. And there's another thing that I've learned to, how can I say, really tap into during lockdown, and sometimes my reliance on other people. I love that I have friends to speak to and like depend on, but sometimes I've just tried to build a little bit more resilience over time and not be so codependent. So I've learned to appreciate myself more without all of the accolades, without all of this degree, without this job, without these glasses, these cool glasses. But yeah, without everything, I feel like I'm still on the journey of like learning to really, really love myself for who I am. Because I feel like it's just the most, the most important thing, and it makes you appreciate things more as well.
I love that. I really do. I went through a period where when I would introduce myself at events, I would not say what I did. I would just say, I enjoy this, I do this, I do that, because I just felt that we hide behind a lot of labels, and we also try and how can I describe this? We try and prove our worth by saying all the things we've done. And I just felt for a moment, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to say I'm me, I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God, I'm like all the things that I'm proud of that sit outside of work. And people looked at me a bit like, it's a bit weird. Like, why don't you just say you're the founder of Pepper Your Talk? And I'm like, because that's not all I am, but that's all I'm telling you I am. And I want you to see me for more than that. What would you say with this pandemic and having this time distance, but then also connecting with people and just, I don't know, this strange time? What would you say has taught you about yourself as a businesswoman, as a person, as a I don't know, as a lover, as a friend, as a family member? What have you learned about you, and what, like a new realization? Something you didn't realize about yourself before, but you're just like, wow, I'm this kind of person.
I would say my resilience. Like, I've been through some things, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I knew that I was resilient. I feel like all Black women are, but I didn't know that I could carry so much. And I think I get it from my mum. She's a really hardworking woman. She migrated our family over from Ghana to the UK to start a new life. And for me, seeing her make it and seeing her work so hard that we can make it has built that kind of deep-rooted core of resilience. But then also, when you go through stuff and you're able to come out the other side, that also builds resilience as well. And I think sometimes the hardships that happen either in our businesses, in our lives, in our relationships, or even like what this government is doing, it builds strength in ways that you can never imagine. And I think it was probably like leaving the UK at the end of the year and then coming back and then being like, whoa, you went through some things, like, and you're still standing. What? Okay, this is nice. And just realizing that about myself and has made me feel so much stronger as a person, emotionally as well. Like, there have been times where I've cried through the night, but also there've been times where I kind of look back at those moments and thought, you have come up stronger, and that is really incredible. And I think more and more people need to say that about themselves. Sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, I've been through stuff and I'm come out the other side, because people don't want to seem like you're kind of boastful or like, but I think people should celebrate that more, like you have come out the other side and you're still, even though you're going through things and things aren't, as easy as they could be, you're still standing, and that's really, really impressive. So that's something that I personally,
your ableness. Just every day getting up, and like I think we underestimate how powerful it is to wake up and decide to be present in your day and get on with it. Just do it. Like your ableness to just be, that within itself is a superpower. And just sitting at your desk and breathing and getting on with your task, even when it's difficult or your mind is somewhere else and you really don't want to be doing it. Like that alone is getting to the end of the day sometimes is the biggest award you could ever give yourself. Like I didn't, but I did it. Girls, what would you say has been the thing you've learned about yourself during this period?
So I'm someone who like knows myself pretty well. So I think it's just building up on things that I already knew, but I believe in myself so much more than before. What you said about confidence and past performance, at the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't think my business would make it. I messaged my best friend being like, I may need to borrow money from you just to figure out my next move. Is this okay? Are you going to be able to help me? Because I just didn't expect like my business to do what it did. But I think just sitting down, realizing, okay, this is what is happening, and just planning, like, how can we continue to thrive through this period or even survive? Because I wasn't even thinking of thriving. I was thinking of surviving, but just the ideas that I got in my mind just from sitting down and thinking just by myself with silence, anxiety, through the fear, through all of that, just coming up with ideas and putting myself on a next level in my life has just made my confidence just hit the roof. I used to have a lot of imposter syndrome, which I still do sometimes because I didn't go to uni to study fashion. And so for me, I haven't always believed that I deserve to like get stuff in the fashion industry, like to have a successful business. But now I do. Like I believe in myself so much. So I think that is what has happened over this period.
Amazing. Twiggy, are you still thinking? Do you know?
I would say I realize how much I underestimate my abilities. I think when how can I say, I was speaking to like a life coach. I had like one session with a life coach and we were in conversation and we were speaking about things that I've done and like the things that I want to do or like just the differences that I want to make. And she just looked at me and she said, why are you underestimating yourself so much? And it just made me reevaluate everything. And it's almost like Twiggy, like she said, write down everything, you're good at, everything you've achieved, the differences you've made, the this, the that, just so many things, my personal and like professional life as well. And it was only then that I really did realize that, oh my gosh, like Twiggy, come on, like you should be proud of yourself. And I feel like I've taken on that energy this year and it's made such a difference. And it's just given me like a new vibe, you know what I mean? And I feel like even today I had a really like day. You guys have really lifted my spirits today. So I'm almost reminding myself of that moment again. And it's like, Twiggy, come on, just put some lip gloss on and move. Yeah.
Got this. So you guys spoke a bit about, you spoke about writing ideas down. Twiggy, you spoke about writing a list. And I know, Nicole, you spoke about journaling as well. So writing is a theme that has popped up and spending quiet time alone. Do you frequently journal? Do you guys write down your thoughts often? Do you feel that is powerful? And if you do, what is maybe a favorite quote or a favorite phrase or a question you constantly ask yourself? If someone who's listening to this doesn't journal or doesn't even know where to start with inquiring about themselves, like spending that time just digging deep, like maybe you can give them a quote, which is a prompt, or a question, which is a prompt. Tell us.
Yeah, I can go. I do love journaling, but as a public speaker, I love talking. I talk to myself quite a lot. So actually, I have conversations with myself. So I got in the act of going for long walks and actually recording voice notes. And it was just kind of like my own mini podcast. And I used to record them basically whenever I wanted to get something out of my head or I had feelings, I felt some kind of way. And then every now and then I would send them to like close friends and just so they can understand where my head is at. But they were really kind of like personal podcasts, I guess, if you want to call it. So if anyone doesn't feel confident with writing, recording voice notes is a really good alternative. I have so many quotes, and I guess I'll give the version that is like non-religious, and I'll give the version that I was told once. So I was told, and I don't know where the quote is from, but someone else said this to me, and I just thought, whoa. But they said to me, everything that you've ever wanted in the world is already yours. It's just about how you go and get it. And then the kind of Christian version is that God has already laid out everything that you ever wanted already. He's going to give it to you. And I've always really found that, as a younger person, really dreaming about what kind of life I could have, really wanting to be successful, really wanting to make something of myself, and feeling the pressure to do so, but also wanting it as badly. I was always just constantly questioning, like, what could that person be and who will that person be going forward? And that quote gives me comfort because, one, it kind of says that my path is already set. And two, it also reminds me that the action of getting there is upon me. It's me putting the hard work. It's me really focusing in, me doubling down on what I need to do. And then for me being a Christian, it's also knowing that I have the grace and the guidance from God. So that's why I gave both versions.
Nice, a double-edged sword. Love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Because I write like a lot. Because I write a lot at work and everything like that, and I'm always sending emails. Oh my gosh, countless emails. Anyway, because I'm always writing. That's how I started my podcast. I didn't start my podcast. I have about maybe 17 episodes out, and it started randomly. Like I was literally like lying down. I had a nap in the afternoon because I was just tired, and I woke up and I thought to myself, I don't want to talk to myself again. I have a lot of thoughts. Like I'm just probably going to post it on like Instagram as a voice thing. And I thought to myself, oh no, my girlfriend has a podcast. I know how to upload it and stuff. I was like, oh, let me just do it. I thought of it in that moment, did it on the day, and now I've got 17 episodes, and it is literally just me taking 10 minutes. I literally talk about like the most random things ever, but I have like these colored cards. I'll show you. They're like not really tarot cards, but they're like emotion cards. You have like some cards that say fear, flow, life, sun, and each emotion has like a different explanation. And sometimes I pull out those cards on the 10-minute podcast, and it just gives such good insight into like what like the questions that I have, or my current thought process or my current worries. And yeah, I feel like it's been very cathartic, and it's just been so nice just to talk for 10 minutes and leave it as that and put it out there. And yeah, it's helped a lot of people so far. So yeah, that's been my way of almost releasing. But yeah. Oh, you need a quote.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you have a favorite quote if you have one?
Currently living in the present. That's my thing. Whenever I'm stressing out or whatever it's called, I just remind myself, I'm like, Twiggy, you're currently living in the present, or ground yourself. And similar to Nicole's is what was it? Oh crap, I've forgotten it. Everything is working for your greatest good.
Yeah.
Everything is working for you in your greatest good. And I feel like I said before, when I was working at Lush and I didn't really know what direction I was going in years to come, I think I always just told myself that over and over and over again. You know what? Everything's working out in my favor. Everything's working out in my favor. That was beauty. And now this is beauty. It's like, if I didn't have all of those years working on the shop floor, talking to people about all of these products, I wouldn't have the passion that I have for it now and the knowledge, So yeah, everything is like full circle.
Yes, and I keep telling people about this invisible string. I work a lot with universities and young people, so I get to see it firsthand, people stressing about their careers, and I'm just like, take time to write. And journaling prompts like questions like, what did you enjoy doing when you were young? What do you constantly get complimented on? What used to bring you joy that you don't do anymore? When do you feel most like your childlike self? And when you answer those questions, you start detailing your passions. It becomes so clear, and you like Nicole said, that's like me. From when I was like 6, 7, I've always loved it. It's always been something I've done. I can literally trace this string like through my whole, even the lows. Like, there's purpose in the lows, there's purpose in the highs. Yeah. Everything makes sense when you look back and kind of string it all together. Yeah, even working at Lush and then now working at Vogue doing beauty, like it makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense now that I'm in it. especially because I have to like network and I have to talk to a lot of PRs and like engage with this person, meet this person that I've never met before. Fisayo, I meet 10 people at once and I have to speak to every single person. Like because Lush, anyone can walk in at any given moment. And if you've ever been in Lush, like we're always like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
I literally speak to every single person, even the introverts. I need to know how to approach them and how to deal with them. And it's just working at Lush honestly taught me so much, and I didn't know until like now. So I'm very grateful.
Amazing. So how about you? Do you journal? Do you have prompts, or do you have a quote?
I struggle with journaling, but I know I need to. I know it's very important. So that's something that I can feel that I need to. But when it comes to putting the pen, I just really struggle. But this is a work in progress. I'm trying to like record voice notes and just figure out a way to get it out. But something that a quote that I wanted to share was something that's really gotten me by like my years of imposter syndrome. My mom shared it with me, and it's they will never find you out. Like every time you feel like you're not good enough or like you don't know what you're doing, nobody's gonna know except you. Like you just so many like super successful people. That's why we admire.
I love it. It's so Nigerian.
It's so Nigerian.
We admire. No, seriously. So many people have no clue. Like, don't you sometimes see someone who's like super successful and they're talking, but after when you think about it, what they said, like it wasn't that revolutionary. But in yourself, you're like, I'm not good enough. I have to do this, and I have to do this. Just do your research. Be well read. Always strive to continue learning. Never get complacent. But nobody is gonna see you and be like, no, they're not gonna know that you don't feel like you're good enough.
Everyone's winging it.
That's what I've done as well. Everyone is
because the times that like I felt like I did rubbish and like someone said, oh my God, your business is killing it. I heard you sounded amazing. And in my head, I'm like, what? It just makes you realize how much everyone is on it and they're not going to find out.
I love that so much.
To your mom, because that is a sick quote.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
And I also...
Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say that I would love for all of you guys to read the book, The Alchemist. I really, really enjoyed that book. It helped me with purpose. My favorite quote from that was, when you really want something, the universe conspires to help you. Yeah. When you really want something and you're working towards it, no matter how difficult it is, how long it takes, how foolish you feel. Like when I first started blogging, I felt so silly sometimes. You just feel dumb doing poses. But you will get to your destination.
Honestly, I love that you brought up The Alchemist. That is my New Year reread, and it's been my New Year reread for 3 years. And it's so funny that every year I pick it up. Like I've got tons of underlines and notes, but every year I need a new bit. I need something else. I see something else. I connect with something else. So if anyone listening to this has not read The Alchemist, I would urge you to please go and get a copy. And I guarantee you'll read it and then you'll gift it and then you'll quote it. It's gonna be a life source for you. You're gonna really, and it's an easy read, a small book, easy read, very digestible. So much food for thought in there. Someone spoke about imposter syndrome. Sorry, you did. And I want us to speak about that just for a few moments. I want you to tell me very quickly, each of you, a comparison you once had in life that you've learned to let go of. Did you compare yourself to someone specific, or did you try to change that standard that you've let go of now? So yeah, a comparison that you no longer care for, that you've let go of, that you've freed yourself from.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of pressure at university because I was the only Black girl on my course and one of two only Black people studying product design. And everyone on my course said that I was going to get a first. Everyone else was telling me what I was going to get. And I was just like, how do you not know this? Like, there was so much pressure. But also I realized what they were doing was comparing me and the only other Black person on the course to get first grades. And it just put a lot of pressure on myself. And I remember that moment of, being compared to another Black person and constantly feeling like there's only the two of us, so only one of us can get through, was just such a negative way to like walk into the industry. And I completely let that go when I realized that actually in the space that we're currently in the creative industry or the tech industry or fashion, if one of us wins, we all win. And so one person gets the first, one person gets a 2-1, or no one gets a first. We're all winners by being here and by kind of pushing through. But I remember like really comparing myself to like the one other guy on my course, like who's going to get a first. But it didn't matter. It really didn't matter because we were both working through an industry where we were only two singular people. But there was a lot of pressure that I just thought that's actually so mad. Like I just want to finish this course, and like everyone was telling me you're gonna get a first. I ended up getting a 2-1. And I was still fine with that. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Do you guys? Sorry, you were gonna say something, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say mine wasn't really comparison to another person. It was just comparison to what I thought that I should be, because I know myself and I know like I have so much potential, and so I just always wanted to be there, just like up there. So mine was just learning that it takes time. It takes time, and because like I'm not there, it doesn't mean that I'm a failure. Success actually takes time. Like there's not always a rite of passage, and to be honest, with social media, I'm happy that the walls in a lot of industries have come down and anyone can wake up and put out their work. But if you think of a lot of the really successful people in life, they didn't start at 10 or being a teenager or even 20. Some people started at 30. Like it takes time. And so yeah, I've stopped holding myself to harmful standards.
Yeah.
I would say similar to you as well. Like this is like a recent, how can I say it? Okay, so for the longest time, I always thought that I was very different. And I always wondered why, like I would always achieve good grades and this and that, but then it would be very, very hard for me to get there, like compared to my peers. Like I'd had to work 10 times harder, or like just very, very simple tasks were very, very difficult for me. And I just always thought that, okay, maybe I'm a little bit, I don't know, less intelligent than other people. And my mum always encouraged me and told me that I'm great and this and that. But last year, I think I've told like 4 people this actually. I was actually diagnosed with ADHD. And my type of ADHD is combined. So it is hyperactive, which is hyperactive at times. It is also impulsive and inattentive. So it makes it very difficult to do the most simple things. And I found out last year and I cried when I found out. And I wasn't crying out of, I wasn't crying out of sadness or anything like that. It was relief, just because over the years I've always compared myself to, just the neurotypical standard of doing things. Like, oh my gosh, they do things so fast, or they understand this so fast, and not knowing that my brain all this time has just been working like on overdrive, and that I just work very different to other people. So now with this newfound knowledge, almost as if I found like a new tribe, and I'm understanding myself so much more, and giving myself a pat on the back as well for doing all of this and being able to do all the things that I've done without any help or without even knowing what is almost different about me. So I would say, yeah, it's just not like comparing myself to other people anymore, and just like neurotypical standards of working and everything like that.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. You said you really shared with 4 people, and now you're sharing.
I barely shared it with anyone just because I like. I barely shared it with anyone just because I was always fearful that people would treat me differently or say like, oh, that's because of ADHD, even though it probably is. But yeah, I just didn't really want people to treat me any differently. But yeah, I'm really happy to share it here just in case, someone else might have it, and you're just not alone, Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like thank you, honestly, because I feel like a lot of things that people deal with aren't diagnosed until they're a lot older. Sometimes even in their 30s and 40s, and you go your whole life thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm weaker, I'm this. And it's just like, no, you're just different. And not just different because your mom or your dad says, or scientifically, you're different. And that's going to either hinder you or help you in certain areas of your life. So I'm really happy you got that diagnosis, and I'm really happy you're embracing it, and you're still you. And actually, you've gotten very far. Like Vogue that's not all you are. I'm not going to just kind of hold you to that Vogue standard.
No, but I'm really proud of that achievement as well. Like it's a really big achievement. I always wanted to work there when I was younger. Like I was obsessed with fashion magazines, and I really did hope that I got the job. And I feel like I could have had even more experience than, I feel like they just really liked me as well. So yeah, I'm just really proud of that achievement in general. So yeah, I'm I'm more than happy for you to mention that. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so we have a few more minutes to go, and I really want us to end on time. Thank you guys for sticking with us for this long. I'm gonna end on a question I love asking people, because I feel like it kind of takes us out of the room and it brings us into your world. So I want you to either describe your most perfect ideal Saturday. What do you love to do as a woman who is working, and you have your money and you have your life and you're confident in who you are? What is your ideal Saturday morning, or Saturday, or what does success feel like for you? So you can either do the Saturday, or you can describe the feeling of success to you. These are two of my favorite questions.
I will. Shall I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually have an answer for both of them, but I would say success looks like change, and change can be either within the systems that I navigate. Change can be within my life. Change can also look like one thing being stagnant and then suddenly moving. And I like the idea that to be successful means I have changed something and I've done something to change the way in which we live our lives. That could be as individuals, as people, as a community, or as, a wider society. For me, that's when I can kind of sleep easy. And that's why it links to the comment about Saturday, complete stillness, just being absolutely still. I love it. I love doing nothing. I'm good at doing nothing at all. And I think when you're a kind of person who does loads of things, you wear various different hats, people rely on you for certain things, you're managing various different people, sometimes always being needed. My Saturday is not being needed. So it's going to be hard when I have kids. They're going to be running around like, Mom, no, what do you mean? No, but complete stillness is my jam. Like, I absolutely appreciate it so much, because that's my Saturday morning. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Mine's really simple. Saturday, similar to Nicole, I want to rest and sleep and just I don't know, have a nice fizzy Rubicon on the side that I can sip, while I watch Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, really nice and simple. And Nicole, you actually got me into Made in Chelsea. I'm so sad. I finished everything now. I went all the way back and watched all of the episodes, and it was absolutely great.
Love it.
Yeah. My idea of success would be just to feel very just continue feeling very self-assured and confident and confident in my abilities just to change the world and change people's lives in whatever way I can. Giving opportunities to other people, giving platforms to other people to grow. Just, I don't know, seeing other people smile makes me happy as well. So yeah, I would say as long as I continue to do that and make money as well. I like money. and make lots of money as well. But yeah, those are the things that I would say, make me feel successful.
Yeah, I like that you added money in there, because women we're taught to not really speak about money that much, or not to act like we need it or that we love it. And actually, it's perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
That is good. Fisayo, you are going to end us on your answer, and then I'll wrap up the event.
Oh, pressure. Success.
Start again, Lucas. Sorry.
Okay. Success to me feels like contentment. I feel like for so many years I have been striving and pushing, and it's just felt like climbing a ladder that never ends. And every time you get somewhere where you think, not that's it, but like it's going to be easier, there's another obstacle. So success for me would just not being complacent, but being content, being okay with where I am, being in a comfortable house, my family, my friends, everyone being happy, everyone being comfortable, being able to buy nice presents for everyone, being able to travel when I want, just being content and at peace and not striving.
Mm-hmm.
So much striving and trying, like when you are trying to make it. I just would love to just be content and at peace in my heart.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you, girls. Honestly, just to wrap up all your answers into one, I feel like the general theme was rest. It is rest.
Yeah.
It's peace, actually. And I love that you all ended on that, because a lot of this kind of girl boss, be a career woman, literature and just the imagery and the quote is all about the hustle and the strive and working 24 hours and all that type of stuff. And actually, you've all said success is being still and being confident in being still, because a lot of people feel useless when they're not doing anything. But you've all said, actually, no, I am so confident in myself that when I'm doing nothing, there's so much purpose in that because I need it for me.
Yeah.
So thank you for driving that message home. And I feel like a lot of young people are going to need to hear that. You don't always have to be on the hamster wheel of movement. You can be still and just gather your thoughts and take in your surroundings and enjoy your life on 0.5 rewind mode. Like, you don't have to be fast forward. So thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who's tuned in, who's listening. I hope this has been an inspiring, thoughtful conversation. I hope you've taken loads of notes and you have a quote that you're going to walk away with, or you thought about yourself. That is my greatest hope. Ladies, I am so grateful to have had you here. Thank you for your time and your hearts and your truth. That is all I can ask for, and you've just been so generous with all of it today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you to the Young Barbican as well for allowing us to make this happen, to celebrate International Women's Day. You guys are incredible women, and I want you to be international. I want you to be all over the globe. So this is just a start, but thank you again. And hopefully we will see you all again very soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.